Hi, it's Vex, and today we're going to do another deck tech, actually our last deck tech from Time Spiral Remastered. Thelon of Havenwood. That's right, this is a card reprinted from the original OG Time Spiral. Thelon of Havenwood, hopefully I'm saying it right. And what Thelon does is green, but it's actually a Golgari commander. That's right, Golgari. We'll get to it. And legendary creature, Elf Druid for 2/2. Not bad stats. Each fungus creature gets +1/+1 for each spore counter on it. Now, you gotta read it carefully. Each fungus, your fungus and your opponent's fungus. So if you have two Thelon decks, bam, they all get +1/+1. It's like one of those old sliver templates. Then you play black and green. That's where Golgari comes from. Exile a fungus card from a graveyard, your graveyard or your opponent's graveyard. Even their changelings. So just remember that it does. It might happen where you want to exile a changeling. Put a spore counter each fungus on the battlefield. So spore counters get your funguses +1/+1. Then you get exile cards from fungus from the graveyard. Fungi's. This guy's a really fun guy, right? A fungi lord. Yeah, you can exile fungi's and put spore counters. So funguses usually make saplings, little teeny saplings from their funguses, and then this saplings and these funguses come from the original Fallen Empires. I know, 1994 Magic. Fallen Empires with the original Thelon printed originally, I like saying the word original, in Fallen Empires, but reprinted in modern Masters 2013. And what it does is, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Thelon. So that's where the +1/+1 for each spore counter comes into play. So essentially, keep racking up the spore counters. And then every third turn, essentially, remove three spore counters from Thelon. So every 3 counters, you get to make a 1/1 sapling. So they kind of multiply. It's pretty cool. Very slowly. But in EDH, you got plenty of time sometimes. This is not a super powerful deck. Like this might not hang with Golos or Kenrith or Korvold and Tulane, all those crazy powerful decks. But, it's for sometimes you want to have good casual magic. You want to make the turns last a little longer. You don't want to, die quickly. Turn 7, like Orvar combos you off turn 7 all the time. You want to play a longer game, more fun game, more casual. So this breeds us up to that casual thing. So we have our Thallids. And then the deck has a bunch of Thalid type creatures that do that. Every third counter add a, every upkeep, add spore counter, remove this same template, Thalid Shell Dweller, remove 3 spore counters, create a 1/1 green sapling. Creature token is reprinted in Time Spiral Remastered. This has Defender, same thing. It's just not 1/1, but it's just a big butt one. But remember when Thelon and these Thalids are on the battlefield, they do get +1/+1, so they do get bigger butts. Again, same template here, except for this is a different. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter each fungus you control. So it not only it's kind of like puts additional spore counters on itself and other funguses. Remove 3, make it 1/1. Sporelaugh Ancient. Oh, I forgot to say the name of this old card here. Spore Sower Thalid. Sporelaugh Ancient. Again, it does the same thing. Spore counters. And then it allows you, creatures you control have removed 2 spore counters, make a sapling. So it kind of reduces the clock by having you remove less counters. Utopia Mycon. It's another 1/1 little Thalid type thing. Same thing. Not 1/1 O2. Sorry, my bad. One mana value creature. Except for you can sacrifice sapling, add a mana. Vitaspore Thalid. Same thing, except for additional text. You can target creature gains haste and turn sacrifice sapling. Psychotrope Thalid. Same kind of text here. Draw a card. Same kind of text again. And you see the theme of this deck, right? You make you put some counters on your fungus. Make some saplings. You can sacrifice sapling to do something. This is a Big Daddy Fungus Savage Thalid. You can regenerate target fungus. This is old school Fallen Empires. This is not reprinted yet, but upkeep, put a spore counter, and then you remove 3 spore counters and deal 1 damage to any target. And the funny part is if you read, 1 damage to any target, that actually applies now with the new rule that you hit planeswalkers, creatures, or players. Thalid Devourer. Same text as, add counter, make saplings, sack a sapling. It gets +1/+2 until end turn. This one's Thelon Germinator. Same thing as every sapling. Target creature gets +1/+1, not itself. And then you have a black Thelon. Wow, I know, zombie fungus, not just a fungus, zombie fungus. Sacrifice sapling, target creature, -1/-1 to end turn. So it's kind of like a mirror of Thelon Germinator here. Zombie fungus. Spore Flower, another Fallen Empires card, has not been reprinted yet. You put a counter during upkeep, and then you remove 3, and then it's kind of like a fog. All right, so those are our Spore counters. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove 3, do something. Then we go on to other fungi. All right, fungi. And Dominaria had a Thelon theme too. It was pretty cool. Like, look at this mushroom head, dude. Looks pretty cool. Spore Crown Thelon. Each other creature you control that's a fungus or sapling, so it's a fungus sapling lord, gets +1/+1. So the little lord here, Rot Shambler, Death Trigger. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Rot Shambler. It's a fungus. Death Bloom Thelon. When it dies, make a little sapling. So you see, funguses and saplings are like best friends. Are really closely tied together. Slimefoot Stowaway, our secondary commander in this deck. So these are still making these saplings right here, but in a different way, not remove 3 counters. Slimefoot does whenever a sapling dies, deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. Pretty neat. And then you can make your own little saplings. Fungal Behemoth. It's in there because it just sounds cool. It sounds like a behemoth. Again, this deck is a really casual deck. I'm doing it for fun. It's not like aimed to always win. It's just aimed to add a bunch of counters. Don't forget, have some dice. The greener the dice, the better, right? Let's see, Fungal Behemoth's power and toughness each equal to +1/+1 counters on creatures you control. There's not a lot of +1/+1 counter synergy, but again, X greens suspend X. Whenever time counter is removed from Fungal Behemoth while it's removed from the game, you may put a +1/+1 counter target creature, so it adds counters. It helps itself. Mold Shambler, Fungus Beast. I know, a Big Daddy Fungus now. If you kick it, destroy target non-creature permanent. Thelon Omnivore, you sack another creature, not another sapling or Thelon, but any creature, still a fungus. Gets +2/+2. If a sapling was sacked, you gain 2 life. Thelon Soothsayer, sack a creature, draw a card. Michaeloth, this one is Devour, and these are like sapling generators that are really cool. And also fungus. Beginning upkeep, put a +1/+1, a green sapling creature token into play for each +1/+1 counter on my instance. Remember, it's Devour 2. Each creature you sack puts 2 +1/+1 counters on there. So it's only your upkeep. Spore Mound, Landfall, make a sapling. It's also fungus. Verdant Force is not a fungus. I wish Verdant Force was a fungus, just to go with in theme, but it's not. Oh well. It's at the beginning of each upkeep, make a green, create a green 1 sapling token. Roll out the Ancient, sapling, but not fungus lord. It's weird. It's like a fungus and sapling should be best friends, but it says sapling creatures, tree folk creatures get +1/+1. We don't have tree folk, so it's all saplings. And then has kicker X when it enters the battlefield. If it's kicked, put X more sapling counters. Thelon Knight Hermit, sapling lord. You play it for you morph it, and then you unmorph it, put 4 saplings into play. Tennis Street Dryad, another sapling lord if you have City's Blessing, but this is each upkeep. Kind of like the Verdant Force text. Each upkeep, make a sapling. So you see, we're making tons of saplings. We want to keep making saplings, make fungus. So it's like a fungus sapling deck here. And we got our last sapling generator, Sprout Swarm. It's an instant. You can convoke, buyback. So essentially, you pay 5, make a sapling, pay 5, make another sapling. You can make tons of saplings quickly. Things get out of control because it has convoke. All right, so these are their funguses. Good amount of fungus and sapling creators. Then we have our other spells. Now, I just want to, before we go into other spells, I know you might ask, why aren't there more like Thelons and stuff? Again, I really like saplings. They're one of my favorite creature types. So I went a little bit deeper on the sapling theme, not as hard on the fungus theme as that Thelon wants you to do, but Again, it's, when you build your deck, I recommend building the way you like to build it. That's the way I like to build it. All right, moving on. We have some removal. Abrupt Decay is good. And Golgari, Assassin's Trophy is mandatory, I believe. If you're playing Golgari, you have to have Assassin's Trophy. There are some weird lands that you need to kill. Assassin's Trophy kills it all. Kills everything. No restrictions. It just doesn't kill your own stuff. We are playing with counters. So Proliferate is kind of fun too. I really like proliferating. So I do have some removal that's proliferating. Other cards that proliferate. I forgot to mention that in the beginning, but again, Thelon wants you to do counters, so you want to proliferate, spread the sickness, destroy your target creature, then proliferate. It is kind of expensive, but proliferating is fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy just having 10 dice and you uptick each dice individually. It's fun. Your opponents have to sit there and be like, okay, hurry up, hurry up. It's fun. Grim Affliction, put -1/-1 counter target creature of proliferate. It's great. So some removal. This might be a slow removal, but if somebody has almost lethal, missing 1 damage, you could Grim Affliction it, and then put a -1/-1 counter, and then proliferate another -1/-1 counter. So don't forget you can proliferate the -1/-1 counters on opponent's board too. Corrosive Grip, so a good removal. I love Corrosive Grip because sometimes you can kill a top, Sensei's Vine top and stuff without them activating it because it has split second. We have some player removal cards. I love calling it player removal. Triumph of the Hordes. Since you're going wide with this deck. You're gonna play a lot of creatures, make a lot of saplings. Triumph of the Horde helps out with infect, and then some proliferate cards help. If you don't infect them all the way, you can kill them via proliferate. Grave Behemoth, very good. If you're playing green, you're going wide. Player removal. Sometimes you just need that one card that you can demonic tutor or naturally draw just to end the game. If you can, you just need a trump card. So I don't mind having a trump card like that, so it's not bad. Okay, next is a little card draw here. Beast Whisperer is a very good green card draw. Regal Force, you're playing very heavy green. Some black for other cards, but it's very heavy green deck. Good card draw in green. Skull Clamp, very good card draw if you're making 1/1 saplings. Guardian Project is always good in green. And then Moravine Reclamation. Whenever creature you control dies, you gain 1 life, draw a card. So this helps with a little life gain. But our fungus have built-in sack outlets in it, so it's very good to use a Moravine Reclamation. And some sapling related card draw here. You could Fungal Plots from Dominaria, exile creature card from your graveyard, create a creature, create a sapling. Sack 2 saplings, gain 2 life, draw a card. So more card draw. It doesn't do graveyard hate for opponent's graveyard, but again, it could help you cycle through graveyard. Necrogenesis. Now this is not card draw. It's kind of like Fungal Plots. It makes the sapling like exile target creature card from a graveyard. So maybe it's playing Nethroi or Corridor or reanimation shenanigans. This is Necrogenesis is the way to go. And makes a 1/1 sapling token. Alright, so we have some card draw, some graveyard hate. I love graveyard hate because, man, I'm always playing against the graveyard deck. There's always and even my deck right here has some graveyard synergies with Fungal Plots, draw a card, stuff like that. So all decks usually have a little bit of graveyard synergies, and it's good to hate on them a little bit. Alright, we need some protection. We're playing when we go wide, we need to protect our board. Heroic Intervention, very good protection here. Golgari Charm. Don't use the all creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn because it probably kills most of your saplings. Unless you want them to die. Maybe. But usually it's for the regenerate each creature you control. So it's mainly for the protection here. You got some tutors, Demonic Tutor. You can tutor for player removal like Grave Behemoth or Triumph of Hordes. And this is my favorite cards for tribal decks. Here, since your saplings are miniature, but they're plentiful and fungus. Each creature, you have coat of arms, each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature in play that shares a creature type with it. So fungus and saplings can get a good boost from that. Other utility cards, Aghanim Awakening. Again, even without being a dedicated graveyard deck, I have a graveyard card. Even though it's a mold double face card, uses land most of the time, but I do have a way to get creatures back from the graveyard. So that's why I'm saying graveyard hate is so important in all my deck techs. Term Timber Symbiosis. Mold double face card, Delegate Recovery, get some back from your graveyard. Again, as I said, more graveyard. Minor, every deck has minor graveyard theme. Fungal Rebirth. Now this is a graveyard, and it has the word fungal on it, so you know it's in theme, right? Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If a creature died this turn, create 2 green sapling tokens. So it's great. And we have this card. This card is one of my... It's just a fun card. Is it a good card? No. Is it a fun card? Yes. Planar-wide Celebration. Again, it also has the return target permanent card from your graveyard to the hand. But mostly, we use Proliferate because we get to choose 4. And then we choose a mode more than one, so we can quadruple Proliferate. It's super fun. Speaking of proliferating, Contagion Clasp. We could put -1/-1 counter on target creature. Pay 4, proliferate. Or, not just that, we have Contagion Engine. We're going to proliferate even more. Proliferate, then proliferate again. Boom. Oh, what's this? Evolution Stage, more proliferation. Landfall, proliferate. All right. So we're going to do proliferate, add some sapling counters, add some +1/+1 counters to our creatures, give them more infect counters. It's great. It's fun. We have, 1/1 counter theme, or counter theme, the Ozolith. So if your things die, you put some counters on the Ozolith and then give them back. We have Peer, Imaginative Rascal, give additional counter +1, because it's kind of like Wine Constrictor. Additional counter +1. Doubling Season. This is a great card in this deck because it works so well. It makes double the saplings and gives you double the counters. So excellent card in the deck. All right. As always, go to our little land ramp section here. I know it's so funny, like if you look at the size of the deck, how much land ramp there is compared to the deck. About, I'll say 40% of the deck is dedicated to lands and ramping. And let's just talk about them. Right, you got your usual suspects: Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Golgari Charm, Talisman of Resistance. We do have 2 mana Commander, which it's not really beneficial to play on turn 2, so we could just ramp. If you don't have anything else to do, play your Commander. But your Commander wants creatures on the battlefield and then gets spore counters, and you put your Commander on, buff your creatures, and you can attack or do something with them. So I don't usually play Thelon on turn 2. I try to do these ramps if I have a choice. If I don't, then I just play it, obviously. Kadamas Reach, Cultivate. Right here. Our creatures are cheap, so we don't have that much ramp. We do have some lands. We have the dual lands. I call rainbow lands. Command Towers, always in any multicolor deck. Mold Double Face, dual land, Dark Pour Pathway, Undergrowth Stadium. So some more of these green and black dual lands. We have some fetch lands here, original Verdant Catacombs, and Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse fetch lands. Utility lands, Bajuka Bog, Orborg, Orn Reef. So this is actually really cool in this deck because ETB's taps for 1 green, put a +1 and then tap it, put a +1/+1 counter. Each green creature enter the battlefield this turn. You could just save all your counters on your saplings. Your fungus, and then turn all the saplings, and then bam, you can tap this and put +1/+1 counter for each green creature. So it doesn't say non-token green creature. Karn's Bastion, proliferate on a land. Grim Backwoods, card draw on a land. Sack a creature. Of course, some bargain bin basement lands I took from the bulk pile because sometimes you just gotta go with what you got. All right. So this is the deck. If you enjoy this deck tech, give it a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to get notified of my new videos, like new deck techs and all this fun stuff. All right, I'm going to take this deck, shuffle it up. Also, I forgot the deck list is in the description below. Shuffle the deck up, and then we'll do some gold fishing and get our dice out. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Let's check out our cards. This is turn 1 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's see what we got. We have got a Forest of Swamp and a Dark Boar Pathway. Remember, no 1 drops, some 2 drops, and 3 drops. Okay, not bad. Not the greatest, but not bad. Remember, this is going to be green because you need double green for Thelon. So I'm just going to turn this around. And remember, if you're playing casual, just do this, whatever. It's not like they care too much, right? So let's just go first. Turn 1, draw a card. Okay, now there's 3 drops, so we're getting a little loaded on low drops, but no ramp. That's fine. We'll just play this Slitherboar Pathway as a green. Say go. Swamp. Okay, more mana. All right, we'll just play our swamp. Usually people would cast their 2-drop commander turn 2. Not this deck. Let's just, play our Thelon Shell Dweller, so it's turn 2. And then we say go, and then to go to our turn 3. Bam. Upkeep. Put a little counter on here. A little spike counter. That's 1. Spore counter. Draw another land. Wait, did we just draw our land? No, that's for the 3rd turn. 3 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 10. Oh, okay. We got a bunch of lands. Okay, so 3rd turn, what we'll do is play our forest, because this is more green than deck is more green than black, even though we drew a bunch of black lands. Which one is the best Thelon we want? We play Grim Affliction, give it Proliferate, but we'll save the Proliferate later. This is sack a Thelon, target creature get +1/+1, and this is sack a Saproling, target creature get +1/+1. This is sack a Saproling, Thelon Devourer gets +1/+2. So I have this Thelon Germinator. It's also printed in Time Spiral Remastered. I wish they would print these little old ones. These are not reserve lists, so I can read them better. Look how dark the green is. It's hard to read, right? Okay. Turn 4. Remember, this deck is not a super fast deck. Okay, not gonna lie, it is a slow deck. Turn 4. Before we draw, put a counter on here. Put another counter here. So next turn we could do our little shenanigans. Bam, Skull Clamp. Okay, that's what we want to do with our saplings. Do some card drawing action. And I'd rather not deploy Rot Shambler or Grim Affliction. Let's just keep going on a fungus train here. We can either Bajuka Bog and play tapped, play Skull Clamp next turn, play Skull Clamp now. I'd rather just save it, sandbag it for next turn. So we'll just play Bajuka Bog. Remove somebody's graveyard, whoever's playing a graveyard deck, or anybody with anything in the graveyard, because this is early game. Pay our 3 mana, play our Thelon Devourer. Okay, we say go. Turn 5. Again, slow deck. Don't forget your dice. So this now has 3 counters on it, so we can start removing them. Or we play Thelon and give it +3/+3, so it's easy to remember. We'll draw a card. Beast Whisper, okay. Not that great on this turn, but good enough. Okay, what we could do is we could play Skull Clamp. Right here, we could, main options, we could play Rot Shambler, right here. Says when another creature you control dies, put +1/+1 counter Rot Shambler. Even tokens. So let's do that. Let's remove these. Make a little Saproling token. Right here, this is just gonna get clamped. That's just the whole goal, is to get clamped. We're gonna clamp this token right away. Destroy it. Draw 2 cards. This gets a +1/+1 counter. Draw 2 cards. Okay, so I got some good cards here. So let's just do different counter, +1/+1 counter. And then we have another activation Skull Clamp. We could just, let's just put on this Thelon Shell Dweller. Why not? And then we say go. Next turn, we take to turn 6. Again, this nice and slow deck. Put a counter here. I know, see, you have to make your opponents wait while you do all these counters. Bam, now this is ready to make a Saproling. We'll draw our card. Swamp, well, we're getting all the swamps, aren't we? Look at that. 4 black mana, 2 green. We still do our thing. Play Beast Whisperer, Deathspore Thelon. Oops, this one. Or we could have just saved the land. Hold on. Play Sporemund. ETB, make a green Sapling token. I think we need to get our counters going again. So we'll just play our land, tap everything. Play our Beast Whisperer here, assuming no one's wrapped the board. Then we're going to play our Deathbloom Thelon, draw a card from the Beast Whisperer. Then we're going to be like, okay, we're set up to play Thelon next turn. we're going to our turn 7 here. Take this up, take this up, take this up. Put one on this Death Spore Thelon, and then we'll draw a card untapped. Oh, look at that, we got Peer. One or more counters put on permanent your team controls. That may +1 of each of those kinds of counters are put on permanent instead. So that's great. It's great. What can we play? I think what we do is we play Peer and we play Grim Affliction. Right. Again, this deck is slow. It's not fast. Just remember that. Play Peer. Right there. Beast Whisperer. Draw a card. We play tap our mana. We're just like, okay, it's time to do some damage to somebody. Grim Affliction. Kabam. We're going to Grim Afflict somebody. Keep this sapling right there. We're going to proliferate. Might as well want to counter target that creature. Sorry. And then we're going to proliferate. And then when we proliferate, we're going to add, so if one or more counters we put on a permanent your team controls, that may +1. So I'll put 2 right here, put 2 here, put 2 here, and then put 2 here. Bam. And then put 2 here. Proliferate. Wow, that's insane. That's some value, I'll tell you that. Some value. This is our hand right here. We actually have a land drop. Put it forced into play. Can't do anything with it. Next turn, end of turn, what we could do is just, let's keep these. Keep our boys fat. Draw a card. Undergrowth Stadium. Play that. Sporemund. Get green sapling token. But we want to play Thelon. Right. We need more green mana. That's the problem. 2 mana. We'll play our commander here. Right here. This is our 8th turn. Again, I'm telling you, this deck's slow. Boom. Draw a card from that. Then we'll play our... This is where we do takes these, backsies. Instead of playing Thelon, we're going to play our Sporemund right here with this mana. Put Thelon back. Put this back on top of our deck here. Play our Sporemund, draw a card, and then we're going to play our land, Undergrowth Stadium. Then we're going to tap these 2. Play Thelon. We made sapling with Sporemund here. We're going to draw a card here, and we're going to clamp our sapling here, so the Skull Clamp just falls off. Clamp our sapling, draw 2 cards. Bam. Okay, we did our thing. We drew a bunch of cards, had a bunch of lands. This is our hand. Next, we're going to do Thelon Lord. We have all these crazy things. Sapling died, so we put 2 counters on this guy. Okay. Now, each fungus gets +1/+1 for each spore counter on it. So now this is a 7/7. So you can just, bam, wallop him for 7. This is Defender. Can't go in. This is now a 4/4. Bam, you attack for 4. This is now an 8/8. Bam, attack for 8, and then attack for 6. So you got some chunky creatures here. So you see how the deck works, or you just remove some counters, make a sapling, remove some counters here, 3 counters, make a sapling, remove all counters here, remove some counters here, make another sapling. So you can just make 4 different saplings. So that's what the deck does. Kind of make little saplings here and there. You got your Spore Crown Thelon gives lords to everything. Except remember, when you move 3 counters from here, you're essentially removing 3+3+3 counters, because Thelon has that text on it. But you get tons of cards. Skull Clamp is a very good card in this deck, as you can see. This deck is very fun, very casual. If you're in like a non-competitive pod, you just put it in here, play. But if you're in a high-powered pod, this deck is it's gonna be hard to keep up, but it can keep up. It does have, Clear Hoof. It does have the fact that it looks weak. People won't go after you, so you got that going for you. But super fun. I mean, you can sit there every turn. You put a bunch of dice on your creatures, and it's super fun to do. Annoy your opponents. Be like, hold on, let me put a dice. Let me uptake everything here, as you saw. So it's fun. It's fun. I had a good time. Remember to turn these things back over. But it's usually green most of the time, so I'm just gonna put on Slitherboard Pathway. Again, we're playing casual. We're not playing competitive. This is totally legal and casual if your play group's okay with it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the deck tech, give it a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for notifications and when I do more deck techs, box openings, general discussion items, everything about Paper Magic. The deck list is in the description below, And as always, have a wonderful day.